have a Tef-Guard. Tef-Guards are used in high pressure applications. What it is, two stainless steel housings divided by one simple Teflon diaphragm. And these are the instructions on how to assemble. We take a 3/16 Gore-Tex adhesive tape and put it on the wetted end of the housing inside the bead groove on the inner diameter of the bolt pattern. Just take your finger, apply it directly into the bead groove, and run your finger around to adhere it to the body itself. Very simple task. Once you reach the point, we cut it. We will cut a predetermined length so that the layers overlap. Okay, now we grab the top half of the assembly. It's a 16 bolt pattern. How we do it is we take the 3/8 bolts, put it into the top half, like so. Once we place the bolts into the housing, we put the O-ring on the inner diameter of the bolts, which would set firmly into the bead groove. Place the bolts around the bolt pattern of the Teflon diaphragm. Easily push the bolts through the bolt pattern. Then drop directly into the bottom half, upon which you will hand tighten the bolts into the nut, finger tight. Repeat 16 times until finished, and then we will tighten. Prior to assembling the nuts, especially on the grade 8 bolts that we do carry, none of which require the lube. It doesn't have seizing properties of it, so don't worry about applying the anti-seize lube. You can go ahead and tighten. In a crosshatch pattern, again, as long as they evenly tighten in a crosshatch pattern, once we do a crosshatch pattern, it evenly comes down flush. We'll finish up with the impact. And what I want to do is make sure that the Teflon is tight enough, and you'll see it start to skirt out the bolt. And when it's skirting out the bolt, then we'll finish up with the torque. Go ahead. Once the tightening is completed, we will now torque it to its proper torque spec, which is 35 foot-pounds of torque. Now, to give you a good idea of the torque spec on these things, normal impact torque on your car tire is around 40 foot-pounds of torque. These are going 35 to 40. It's the same kind of torque on these bolts of 16 on this little unit. This pressure rating on these Tef-Guards is up to 2,000 psi. Okay. Once torque is finished, then we install the gauge, pressure gauge, 0 to 2,000 psi, 3,000 psi gauge on the outer port. Tighten firmly. Next, we install the high pressure Schrader valve. There is no predetermined torque on the Schrader valve, but once it's tightened, it's tightened. And there you have a completed assembly for a Tef-Guard. There you go.